Yes guys, welcome to the channel. So if you've pressed this golf video, that means I presume that you sliced the golf ball. And let me tell you, this is not the hole we want to be slicing a golf shot off. We've got a hazard all the way up down the right hand side, and optically it's quite a difficult looking hole. So in today's video, I'm going to try and teach you how not to slice the golf ball. There are in fact many ways you can slice the golf ball. It can be down to grip, it could be down to alignment, it could be down to general setup and posture, it could be down to takeaway, top of the backswing, club face position during the swing, transition to the downswing, body weight position. There's so many ways to slice a golf ball. So it's very difficult for me to stand here now and say this tip will definitely stop you from slicing the golf ball. But I'm going to say it anyway, because there's a few points in this video that if you follow, you will stop slicing the golf ball, done correctly of course. Now, stopping slicing the golf ball does mean you can fade the golf ball. Fade and slice are two very different things, just like draw and hook are. Golfers that draw the ball, don't forget, they struggle with a hook. I struggle with the occasional hook. We do it. So there's no golfer that goes, I draw the ball and that's me, that's the holy grail and golf is done, because they hook the ball or they block the ball. Golfers that slice the ball will also potentially sometimes fade the ball or maybe pull the ball to the left. So what you've got to try and do as a slicer is kind of understand why you're slicing the ball. Okay, so I'm going to give you a couple of points. First of all, grip. I often see a very, very strong grip position. Now, normally this would send the golf ball to the left, but golfers then generally want to try and steer the ball so the hands kind of come up and over towards the left-hand side, therefore leaving the club face open. That would technically be called a push slice. So I want everybody to kind of go back into my kind of previous library videos, looking at posture and grip, and just get yourself up into the right positions, because they're the controllable areas of the golf swing. If you can control grip and posture, you're not even swinging the club, so that's technically the easy bit to change. What we're going to be looking at today, we're going to be looking at the golf swing in general. So, and I'm going to be relating this to one number, 45. I want everybody to remember 45 because it directly relates to the angle of the shaft during the golf swing, okay? So if I swing my club, 45 means 45 degrees. And the 45-degree angle pretty much starts at setup. I'm not saying it's 45, 50, 55. To me, as I look at that, it's about 45 degrees between the ground and the shaft of the club. Okay, so that's my 45-degree angle approximately. As I start to take the club away and get to my waist height with my takeaway, my hands would naturally start to hinge. So now as I look back at that golf club, relative to that being 90, that is now 45 degrees, okay? As I get to the top of the backswing and I start to come back down, guess what number I'm gonna scream out? 45! It's a 45-degree angle as I start to come back down. As I hit the golf ball and release the golf club into the golf ball, I then rotate 45 degrees. Now, golfers that generally slice the golf ball, I often see very, very flat shaft position here on the way back, or even if let's even just assume it's a perfect position, 45 degrees. As we get to the top of the backswing, I often now see this vertical angle of the shaft. Now, as the body's turning left, the shaft angle is kind of very upright, it's very steep, and that's going to work out to in, which as we all know now, creates a slice. It also hits down on the golf ball, which also probably doubles your spin rate, which is what we do not want to be doing on a driver. As we start to come back down here from 45 degrees, the club lands out, bottoms out earlier, and we hit the ball on the way up. So we're more likely to hit the ball from the inside and hit the ball up. So up from the inside will actually produce a draw shape. So what I want you all to try and do is take your golf club, put both hands under the shaft, and as you turn your shoulders, just look at the angle there. So my shoulder angle, 45 degrees, shaft angle, 45 degrees. And as I through, I create the same feeling. This is me now staying in my posture and rotating. So that shows that my body's rotation is always enabling that 45-degree angle. Why do I not maintain the 45-degree angle as a slicer of the golf ball is because my wrist angles start to manipulate the club shaft. So I've got to make sure, put that into 45 degrees. Now if I turn this way, you'll notice I've got a 90-degree angle here between my left forearm and the club. So 90-degree position there, they go up, it never gets any more or less than 90 degrees. So that's your general wrist hinge angle. We're looking at the golf shaft angle relative to the golf swing or the swing plane. So as I start to swing the club back, 45 degrees up to the top, and if I manage to maintain the 45 degrees on the way back down, I'm able to hit up onto the ball from the inside. And that is a fairway hit. Seeing shaft change during the downswing or during the transition, I often then see body weight change. So this is another reason why you would slice the golf ball, or another reason why you would compound the slicing of a golf ball. So as I start to steepen that shaft angle, I generally then start to move towards my lead foot. So as the shaft angle steepens to that 90-degree angle we were talking about before, body weight tends to move forward. So as I start to move forward and hit down on the golf ball, I create a lot of spin. Golfers, do you sky the golf ball as well? So slicers, if you slice the ball from left to right, as a right-handed golfer, if you hit down on the golf ball, you're likely to get that moon ball that just ruins the top of your driver and goes straight up into the air. That's known as your angle of attack. That's the angle of the club coming back down into the ball, coming down too vertically, presents the top of the driver head, which skies the ball up into the air. It's not that you've got under it or anything like that, it's actually the opposite. You've got down on it too much. And that's one of the things we try not to avoid. So if I come back to 45 degrees there and turn my body weight stay pretty central as I strike the golf ball, my head has stayed behind the ball, and I'm able to hit up onto the golf ball. If my shaft angle goes to that 90-degree angle I spoke about before, then I move into my left side more because the club's more on the outside, and I hit down on the golf ball and hit the moon ball. So golfers, we don't want to be leaning back or pulling back to hit the shot, because again, if that 90-degree angle comes in there and I move away, I'm more out to in and spinning left. So if I spin my body to the left as I get this angle and spin left, notice how it goes from out to in. So as I'm doing that, that's going to create a slice shot as well. So the big thing I'm talking about, we talk about weight distribution, we can talk about grip and posture and setup, but at the end of the day, the ball's going to do what the delivery of the golf club is telling it to do. And if the golf club comes down on this 45-degree angle that I keep harping on about, we're going to have the shaft of the club shallowing out a lot sooner. Oh, love it. We're going to have the club shallowing out a lot sooner, and we're able to hit up onto the golf ball as we start to rotate. All right, guys, so I want you to go to the driving range, try this drill out, put your both hands underneath, get the shaft of the club to the parallel to your feet, stay in posture, rotate the shoulders, keeping the hands and the shaft of the club in front of your chest and your shoulders, 45 degrees, 45 degrees. Everything is you're going to go up and down there, 45 degrees, so your body can rotate and maintain this angle if you stay in a good posture position. Then use your hands and make sure the shaft of the club there gets that 45 position, so then you can come into the ball from a straighter angle horizontally and a more neutral angle or even an upwards angle vertically. Okay guys, thank you very much for watching. I hope you've enjoyed this tip. I promise you, if you get that shaft of the club to 45 degrees on the way back down, you're not going to be slicing it. If the club face is open, it's a push slice anyway, so the club face needs to be solved from there. But in terms of swing path, you will not slice the golf ball if that shaft of the club comes down at 45 degrees. 45 is the number, guys. Guys, thanks for watching. I hope you've enjoyed this tip. Please do hit that subscribe button. Lots and lots of content coming from the incredible Alzora Golf Club. And I'll see you again in another video.